When all sources of hope were exhausted, mankind reached out to touch the sun, and then accidentally touched the darkness. In 2038, humanity faces an unprecedented energy crisis in history. Fossil fuels fell below 5% of the total mined reserve. The global power grid system is unstable, leading to widespread power outages. Climate change accelerates, extreme melting ice, prolonged drought, maximum magnetic storms. The economies collapsed one after another, riots broke out everywhere. The international community has no choice. An emergency conference was convened in Geneva, with the participation of more than 140 countries and the world's leading scientific organizations. The only solution: build a space power station, directly exploiting the sun's radiation, the largest, most sustainable source of energy that humanity can access. The project is named Helios Initiative. The heart of the project is an unprecedented super-construction, Vanta Station. The technology behind Vanta. Vanta is designed to operate based on plasma photoabsorbing plate. Nano supersurfaces can exploit solar radiation with almost absolute efficiency. Quantum energy converter turns the photon stream into superheated plasma, then compresses it into pure energy. Quantum transmission gate instantly transmit energy to receiving stations on Earth through a stable quantum tunnel. Station location: Lagrange point L1, about 1.5 million kilometers from the Earth, between the Earth and the Sun. This location is ideal because it maintains absolute gravitational balance, allowing the station to maintain a stable position without consuming a lot of adjustment fuel. Expected benefits of Vanta. Initial simulations show that Vanta can provide 3,200 terawatts of electricity per year, 20 times the total current electricity production of all mankind. Reduce 98% of global carbon emissions within 10 years. End all energy wars, promote a sustainable post-industrial civilization. World leaders declared, "We are entering the age of light. Vanta Station will be a lighthouse leading the way for the future." But they forgot one thing. When you reach the strongest light, you also drag the deepest dark shadow. The initial warnings were ignored. Some theoretical scientists have issued worrying warnings. The exploitation of energy on such a huge scale can locally distort the space-time structure at point L1. The risk of creating quantum instability, similar to small-point microsingularities, can open up unwanted tunnels through space or other dimensions. Dr. Eleanor Reeves, Cambridge Institute of Quantum Physics, once said, "We are not just building an energy station. We are punching a hole into the fundamental structure of the universe, and we don't know what the other side is. But the political and economic pressure is too great." The Helios project received global approval in just 6 months, with a budget exceeding 4 times the GDP of the whole world combined. Vanta Station begins the emergency construction process. No one knows that, when pressing the Vanta start button, humanity has awakened something that does not belong to this world. A switch for destruction. When the first light was harvested from the sun, it was also when the whispers from the darkness began to sound. On November 4, 2041, after more than 3 years of nonstop construction, Vanta Station was completed and commissioned. The Activation Day event, Launch Day, was broadcast live to more than 10 billion people around the world. When the first flow of energy from solar plasma begins to flow into the quantum transmission gate system, the cities light up brightly. A future full of hope seems to have opened up. But just 47 minutes after activation, strange things began to happen. Initial anomalies. Vanta Station recorded abnormal oscillations in the background quantum field, unprecedentedly simulated variable indices, background interference in the low radio band, like squeaks repeat in a cycle of 17.3 seconds. The cosmic background radiation, CMB, around point L1 is broken into small, unknown voids. Meanwhile, on Earth, large radio telescopes in Chile, South Africa, and Australia simultaneously capture strange signals, high-frequency noise pulses that are completely unnatural. Many meteorological stations report strange weather phenomena. Winds from the upper atmosphere suddenly reverse. Local magnetic fields are distorted. At first, people thought it was just technical problems, but gradually, those signs pieced together into a scarier picture. Risk modeling. An independent research team at the Kavli Institute, headed by Dr. Matteo Inari, conducted a cross-analysis between unusual radio signal, background quantum field fluctuations, Noise points in cosmic background radiation. The result shocked everyone. Something is slowly leaking out of a quantum crack at point L1, an entity that classical physics cannot describe. There is no fixed mass, no emission, no normal light absorption. But there is weak electromagnetic activity and direct interaction with the background energy field. Preliminary simulation shows, if left alone, this entity can spread, absorb surrounding quantum energy, and grow exponentially. On November 7, 2041, just 3 days after activation day, Vanta Station sent back a strange message via quantum transmission channel. I'm awake. Who called me? Initially, it was thought that the system was infected with an error due to electromagnetic impact. But the decoding of the signal structure shows that. Automatic language encoding, complete semantic structure, a form of intelligence, is trying to communicate. The terrible question arises. Does Vanta Station not only exploit energy? Did it open a door? The first signals are just greetings. What is waiting behind that door may be the end of it all. When the door is open, what rises from the other side is not something that humans can control. The mysterious disappearance of Vanta. On September 11, 2041, the communication signal with Vanta Station suddenly disappeared. Ground radar systems show the station is still in the same position. But the radar reflection weakens, as if it is being dissolved into space. The space telescope recorded, a strange darkness is enveloping Vanta, expanding at a speed of 1.3 kilometers per minute. Strange features. There is no temperature change, does not emit any characteristic radiation. But where it passes, the background quantum waves disappear completely, like a dead zone where the laws of physics are erased. Interspersed words, gradually increasing the feeling of helplessness. No one knows what really happened at Vanta Station. Just know that darkness is growing and it is hungry. The spread is out of control. In just 24 hours, the dark area expands to more than 300 kilometers of radius around point L1. The consequences lead to the sun appears unusually long dark streaks on the surface, the magnetic field is deflected. Solar radiation is slightly reduced to the Earth, disturbing the atmospheric ecosystem. High-frequency radio waves around the globe began to have heavy interference. Some areas completely lost contact. Scientists hypothesize the dark region not only sucks energy, it is gradually reshaping the space-time structure around it. If not prevented, within 6 months it can paralyze the entire low-orbit satellite, destroy the ability to communicate in the universe. Bending the Earth's orbit is enough to disrupt global climate stability. Desperate decision, Mission Hestia. On November 11, 2041, the United Nations and major space agencies around the world activated the Hestia mission, an unprecedented plan. Launching 3 heavy shuttles carrying mini antimatter pulse generators. Objective, to collapse the dark region. Hoping that the antimatter energy is enough to pull this strange entity back to the hidden state or destroy it. This is not a mere technical action. This is the last life and death bet. But can an act of despair prevent something beyond the definition of life? Or just make him angry? When people play with the most primitive energy sources of the universe, the price to pay? Is it too expensive? When everything was out of control, humans had only one option: fight or be swallowed up. On November 13, 2041, 3 fast reaction ships in the Hestia mission, Orion, Aegis, and Helios, left Earth in turn, carrying many antimatter pulsators, a network of sophisticated quantum sensors to detect the real border of the dark region. In just 6 hours of journey, the crews approached the edge of the dark area covering Vanta Station. The sight in front of them is what never recorded. No more light. No more electromagnetic interference. Just an absolute sea of silence, where all photons seem to be swallowed as soon as they reach the boundary. Facing that endless stillness, all 3 ships are just like tiny specks of dust in front of an invisible whirlwind. At 1832 Universal Time Coordinated, after reviewing and identifying the most important area of the dark region, with the highest density of quantum metamorphosis, the ship's commanders simultaneously issued the order. Release the antimatter core. Activate the directional explosive pulse. The effect occurs immediately. An extremely strongly shrinking region of space and extremely short quantum lightning flashes through the edge of the darkness. At first, everything seems effective. The dark region shrinks, shaking as if damaged. But then, it reacts. An extremely strong feedback quantum collision wave erupts from the center of the dark region. Orion was swept in and completely disappeared in just 0.03 seconds, leaving no trace. Aegis's hull cracked. Astronauts were forced to activate the escape module. Only Helios promptly got out of the impact zone. But what's worse is, the dark area not only survives, it begins to expand 4 times faster. Quantum sensors transmitted to Earth report the structure inside the dark region is organizing itself, forming energy circuits like the early nervous system. Something inside has really awakened. It's not just a dark area. It is a living entity. And this time, it is no longer just silent. He already knew. It felt it. He saw us. An emergency conference of the United Nations was convened at night. 2 options are given. 1. Continue the attacks, despite the ability to stimulate the entity to grow faster. 2. Freeze all large-scale energy activities, hoping that it will lose its source of stimulation and sleep again. But there is not much time left. Space telescopes show that the dark region has expanded to more than 1,000 kilometers in radius after just 5 hours. Mild gravital turbulence began to affect the orbits of some geostationary satellites. If it continues to grow, the Earth can be completely swallowed within 11 months. We are standing at the crossroads of life and death. Choose to fight until the last breath, or accept to step back, leave fate to a strange cosmic wisdom. Vanta Energy Station, the great dream of mankind, has accidentally become a death wake-up switch. Night shift engineers at Deep Echo Station, which was monitoring quantum fluctuations around the dark region, suddenly received a strange signal. The signal does not follow any form of Earth's coding. Not a regular radio wave, not a quantum pulse, not the CMB background effect. It's a map. A series of regular pulses, when decoded as cosmic coordinates, forms an image. A giant whirlwind. The center of the tornado is marked with a pierced spherical symbol. Preliminary analysis. The location coincides with the current coordinates of the dark region. But the vortex is still expanding forever, as far as the border of the solar system. The last message comes with the map, which is translated into a short sequence of beats. Leave. Don't wake up. Once again, no one will survive. We think we have exploited a great source of energy. But maybe we are just people who accidentally opened the seal of a god who has been sleeping since the early universe. Vanta Station is just a small key. The real door, now, is open.